Hello everyone and welcome. This video thumbnail is not an exaggeration. As I wrote this, I was on the gym bike in the middle of it all, in the middle of all these exams, right? I've had 3, I've now finished them all, I finished AS. But let me explain my situations, or what were my situations. So let's start off with drama. We've had our results back for the mock. Overall, that came to 39 out of 60, which is a C. My first C in college. In the last chapter of this ongoing series, I announced that I had an A* in my performance, so the Unit 1 thing. Right, now I emailed WJEC for this. And I wouldn't have had an A*. My teacher said I had an A*, but I can't get an A* because you just can't, unless it's how the college judge how you've done. I don't know. But what's been confirmed is that it's the best it could be, and it's an A, which is the highest at AS. So I want to put that correct on here. I've got an A. That's still the highest I can get that at AS, and the college, in terms of how they grade me as well. That's an A* by their standards. It's confusing. But fast forward to the 16th of May, the actual drama exam. I woke up at about 6, several alarms to make sure I get up every 10 minutes. There's a meme I found is very relevant. I got dressed, I'm ready for college. You know, pretty normal stuff, standard stuff, procedure. And I got the bus. Now while I was waiting waiting at the bus stop, I filmed this. When I was on the bus, I was literally just on my phone trying to wake myself up, you know, scrolling through Instagram, YouTube, all that jazz. And I got into town where I had 2 Greggs pasties for breakfast. There's an amazing app you can have for Greggs, right? And for every 9 pasties you get 1 free. So that's cool. And just to wake myself up, and just in case I can't claim my free breakfast later, that's why I had the free pasties. Right? Not free pasties, I bought 2 pasties. A sausage, bean and cheese melt, very nice, and a corned beef one. But I go into college, I do manage to have this free breakfast. The rules, that if you've got an exam in the morning, you need to be in from 8 to 8:30 to claim your free breakfast. Otherwise you've got to pay for it, and you don't get it free. Fairly simple rules. I was in about 8:10, so I had a bacon roll and a juice box. It was very nice. It was like being back in year 3 all over again. And the rest of the class begins to turn up. I was the second one there. Including Ewan with no pens on the 16th of May. So I gave him some of my pens. I took 5 pens into this exam to eliminate any possibility of pens running out. I won't lie. I did find the fact Ewan didn't have any pens for the exam to be rather amusing, considering we had the exam in 30 minutes. But hey ho. That was quite amusing, I won't lie. We all found it funny, but as a laugh, nothing thing, just a laugh. But at about 9 o'clock, we're going to the exam hall where our main drama lessons were. There's about 100 exam desks in equal spaces to give you an example of how big the room is. You can have 100 desks and chairs laid out. You put your phone on silent, in your bag, in the other room, like with the mock, and you leave it there. You walk into the room and you find your spot, fairly straightforward. I know that much from year 9. We did that. Your location for this exam is already picked for you, as your sheet of paper is on your desk and it's got your info on it. Now I found my spot and I sat down. As more people walk in, the room was silent. We were sharing an exam hall with some economics students whose exam was only 1 hour and 15 minutes. It's very, very exact, but there we go. I also know of one exam that was only 45 minutes long. That was the biology one. But anyways, our exam was 1 hour and a half, like with the mock. The examiner goes through all the rules. In this exam, no phones, No MP3 players, no MP4 players, no notes. You can only have pencil cases if they're translucent, and water bottles must have all their labels taken off them. If you're caught cheating, you will not be allowed to take an exam for 3 years. I was used to this from the exam though, because I have done exams in year 9 and year 10. I did an English literature one, I think. Yeah, that was it. But there were added rules this year, right? Did you know, if you take off your hoodie or your cardigan in an exam, expect for an invigilator to take it off you until the end of the exam? I thought this was very random as well, but they can do that. Take your hoodie off. Thank you. Mine now. And if these rules were broken, you were banned from partaking in another WJEC exam for 3 years. That is terrifying, that. One mistake, go away. We'll see you when you're 20. At 12 past 9, they were handing out stationery to people and clearing any queries people might have had. At 14 minutes past 9, the dude tells everyone, good luck everyone. Don't worry, it's your first exam for a while, but good luck. It's 9:15 and begin. On my desk, I had an assortment of weapons, 5 pens, my View from the Bridge book, I don't have it anymore, my personal sheet of paper, my pink booklet where you write your answers, and my white booklet where the questions are. So it's quite a lot on quite a small exam desk if you think about how they look. I had to organise it all my pens in the corner, booklet 1, booklet 2 where I'd be writing. And did I mention that about 30 minutes into the exam, I had to ask for another booklet because the stupid invigilators only gave us a 4-page pink booklet instead of the normal 16-page booklet that we're meant to have. That 4-page booklet covered one question, I think, or maybe 1.5, I don't remember. Now imagine the most basic clock you could think of, black and white, analog. Now imagine it's across the room from you. Now imagine your eyesight isn't very good. That's the clock I had in this exam. I think, looking back, I think I did decently on this exam. I know that I definitely did the 3rd question correctly this time. And in the exam, in the mock, I had 6 out of 15 on the one question, but I know I did it right. So that's more promising. We find out our results for all of the exams on the 18th of August. I hate this though. 3 months and you're not allowed to know how you did. The pressure, I hate it. Really hate it. Now after the exam, me and Ariane went and got chips. The perfect way to celebrate the end of AS drama, A-level drama. Well, AS drama, that's it. Ewan couldn't join us for whatever reason, and Shakina came along not long after. We met Shakina on a park bench in town as we were eating our chips. It was very nice. The 3 of us went bowling. We got change from our bank, and then from the bowling change machine, although we didn't have to take change from the bank because the bowling machine took cards, but now we know. So we ended up giving this poor bloke who was at the front desk 21 £1 coins because it's £3.50 a game, and we had 2, so £7 each. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. There you go. Thank you. Now, Shakina won both games. Loki changed her name on the system because it's how our drama teacher absolutely butchered her name at one point. Shakaka. And it was a very close match. I had to get another ball from another lane because someone from lane 13 asked if they could have one of our balls. And Loki said, yeah, that's fine. You can use the one Jamie's using. They didn't actually say that, but they might as well have. And I'm just still there, I'm sat there . So yeah, that was only the one I was using all game. We were lane 14, and we had to ask lane 15 for the exact same ball. It was a good game though. I very much enjoyed bowling and chips. After bowling, we went to the arcade because we are very lucky to have bowling, pool and an arcade right next to our college. We are very incredibly lucky, and a cinema as well as loads of shops. Now I didn't mind spending loads of money because of the nature of the day. It was a celebration because AS drama was over. I reckon I spent about 20 quid that day. We all played on different stuff, including the Jurassic Park gun simulator game, the car racing simulator, the basketball hoop game. Well, Shakina and Iramin played that, but they were very good. And especially Iramin, very good at that. The Space Invaders game and the hockey game, which I won against the two. Pac-Man hockey was interesting because you get like 10 hockey pucks at the same time, and you've all got to try and hit them. You've got to try and hit them all into the opposing goal. We got about 80 tickets between us, which could get us something amazing. You know, like half a bag of Haribos, if we're lucky and act nicely. And they're all just shoved in the bottom of my bag now. My bag's over there. But after the arcade, it was a fantastic day, honestly. After the arcade, we played pool until the two had to go to the next lesson. I would have also have had media at that time, but it wasn't done because it was only a drop-in session, because the exam was the next day. But yeah, in a drop-in session, it's just a case of go and see the teacher if you need anything, you know, if you need to talk about anything. I watched Loki and Shakina play pool for a bit, then me and Loki played pool. We got our £5 deposit back for the queues. How pool works, right, is that it's £5 up front for the queues, and as long as you didn't like snap him in half or anything, you get your £5 back. It's just a case of making sure that you don't break the queues, do you know what I mean? But each table demands £1.50 so the balls will drop. Shakina won the game against Loki, and I won the game against Loki as well. I got my £5 back, the two went to their lesson, all jolly and good, and then I went to McDonald's for a milkshake. Shamai, so the drama exam's over. After the drama exam, me, Shakina and Aaron went and got chips. You and I had to go home for whatever reason. After we got chips, well, me and Aaron got chips. We then met Shakina. We went to Hollywood Bowl. It was amazing. I had 2 games of bowling. Aaron won Aaron won the first game, I think. Was it Shakina? Yeah, I think Shakina won both of them actually. And it was really, really good. And I went to the arcade. We played some arcade games. It was fantastic. We did pool then. After this, I went to the gym for about 2 hours. Went and got a McDonald's milkshake. I got my acting club now in a bit. I spent about £20 today, but because it was the exam and I was celebrating, I'd say it was a pretty good spend to a great day. They're very nice. I only recently got into those milkshakes. I've never had them before, right? But lately I've had quite a few. Not too many to the point where it's unhealthy, but I've had them more often than not. No, that's a terrible way of putting it. I have had milkshakes every now and again. There we go. Now, what's the most healthy thing you can do? Or what's the most reasonable logic thing you can do after consuming a heavy milkshake? Going to the gym for 2 hours. Doing some cardio to try and lose some of this. I was watching some S4C as it goes. Now, I use S4C, S4C Rec, to learn Welsh in 2 different ways. You either have the Welsh audio and the Welsh subtitles, so it's a reading and listening activity. I'm pretty good at this. Or Welsh audio and English subtitles to learn new words. Mae'n defnyddiol iawn. It's very useful. Not long after, I went to my acting club. That was from 6 till 8:30. And then, because the family were hungry and I was knackered, we finished off the day with the KFC. So, to put that into perspective, I don't care if you judge me, right? It was an important day. I had McDonald's, I had KFC, I had Greggs, I had chips. Oh my God. Yeah, 2 eggs pasties, a burger from college, chips and curry. A great, yeah, it was chips and curry, yeah. A milkshake and a KFC. That is awful. But there we go, it was a special day, and it was a one-off. I don't mind. I stand by my choice on that day. I don't normally do it. It's very rare I do it. But we're going with it. It was fine. Yeah. But then we got the media exam. Now that was the next day on the 17th. I got up at about 8 o'clock and I was in college about 20 to 9, 8:40, around about that time. Now I was still full from yesterday and I went to the library to one of them booths where you could be on your own to revise. It's like, well, you've got a wall here, a wall here and a wall here. And you could be on your own to revise. It's like being in your mini office. It's quite nice. I spent 2 hours revising media from 9 till 11. I spent some time with Merrin and some other people in my media class. I don't have permission to use their names here, so I can't mention the names. And we revised together. Merrin made some top-notch cue cards as always. But she also made my cue cards in like year 9, year 10. That was decent. I don't know why I want to mention this now, but she's very good at making cue cards. That's how she revises. And I tested one of the other members of our group with them, with Merrin's cue cards and the flimsy ones that he made himself. Like it was all like you got a piece of paper and you ripped off a bit of it and wrote the cue cards. But I mean, it's got the same content as Merrin's cue cards, so. But after this, I went to town, got a little bit hungry by now, but I do regret what I did here. I do regret this. I bought 2 chicken tikka pasties in Poundland and some Coke. I don't regret the Coke. And I took them back to college to consume. And then we continued to revise. The exam was at 1:30, but you had to be there for 1. Right? It was in one of our classrooms that have been extended. It's quite cool in college because you've got 2 classrooms, but there's a wall, right? And you undo the thing, and it sort of does that. So you can retract. You can retract the wall and have 2 classrooms. It's very cool. But anyways, you walk into the classroom and you try to find your seat after putting your bag down and your phone obviously turned off in the bag. That classroom was quite small. It was like, I'm here, you're there, someone there. It wasn't a very big classroom. I did find my seat eventually, and it was quite close to the board, which was quite nice, because part of the media exam is where you have to, well, it's either an audio-visual or a print piece, and we had an audio-visual piece we had to analyse, which is worth 40 of our 100 marks. That's right, the exam was 100 marks, 2.5 hours long, my longest exam. The drama one was 1.5 hours, the media one was 2.5 hours long, the Welsh one was 2 hours long, so half an hour difference between each one. You sit down and the same examiners from yesterday were there, and they handed out 3... What am I doing? They handed out 3 pieces of paper. It's been a long few weeks. You got a pink one, a green one and a blue one. The pink one was where you wrote your answers to the questions. The blue one was where I had to make notes on the audio-visual to analyse it. You know, like, okay, so those theorists I can use there. I like the way they've done that I can talk about that. And the green booklet had the questions. We had the same talk. Right guys, no phones, no AirPods, no MP3 or 4 players. If you've got something to say, put your hand up, don't speak until you're spoken to. They actually said that. But this time they mentioned, if you're caught cheating, you're not allowed to take your driving test for 3 years. That was terrifying. Even if you make a mistake, I didn't even know how they could stop you doing that, right? Not that I was thinking of cheating, obviously, but the whole idea of, if my phone went off in my bag, I wouldn't be able to take my driving test or take another WJC exam until I was 20. That is terrifying. Because even if you make one mistake, one genuine mistake, off you go. Anyways, the man plays part of a video that was part of the exam and it wouldn't play. They had to pause the exam. I look around and I wasn't the only one to find this amusing. They even had to get our teacher in, which is a very, very rare thing to do, to try and fix it. She comes in on her laptop. We had a late start, nonetheless, but they got it to work, and we began. So how this worked was, you watched a clip 3 times. 1, just to watch, so you know what it is. A 2-minute break to make your notes on this clip. You watch it a second time, you make notes, but you then had 5 minutes to make all your notes, so that this was your main chance to write everything down. And then watch a 3rd time to make your final notes, and then you begin the exam. I did the exam. I covered everything I needed to / wanted to with 5 minutes to spare. It was quite nice because the clock, where it was hoisted up on a chair, or not hoisted up, it was sort of balanced on a chair, on a table. It was cool. I'm confident with questions 1, 2 and 4. Yeah, we'll go with that. Questions 1, 2 and 4. We'll go with that. It was a 40 marker, a 10 marker, a 20 marker, a 10 marker, and then a 20 marker to finish. After this exam, there was no fancy bowling, party or food. I just went to Nan's, and then I went to work for the evening. Yeah, I did get a free promotional meal though, and a milkshake, which was quite nice. I think I had a grand Big Mac, which we get free in our work break now, which is very nice. But finally, to conclude this video, we've got the Welsh exam, the most controversial of them all, which was on the 24th of May. So yesterday for me at the moment. I woke up, I was in college A for 10 o'clock. I had a McDonald's breakfast, and I was then revising Welsh for about an hour, which looking back was completely irrelevant, for the reason I'll explain in a minute. I then go to the town centre to get some pens. They got a good offer on pens, 30 for £1. I was terrified at this point. Like, I have never been so scared for an exam before. It was horrifying. I was like, are you ready? Oh, it's horrifying. I'd never been so scared for an exam before, but I was. I was so scared, right? I bought 2 pasties from Greggs. A weird fight or flight response, I know. But I did. Me and Ewan met in the college before we got the taxi with Millie. We arrived at college B like about an hour before the exam, and our teacher was going over things that we could expect to be in the exam. Like, for example, an adroddiad is a report, an ethical is an article, etc. And we go down. Now, we were stood outside that hall for 20 minutes, which was agony. I turned my phone off and I put it in my bag because it's important not to bring your phone into an exam or any technological devices. Just gonna leave that out there. Lest you get caught or banned from taking any exams. Gonna leave that there. Not saying anything else. We eventually got in, trying to find our seats, but the 3 of us from College A didn't have any. Like, we go in and we spent like a good 2 minutes going through each of the aisles to try and find our names, but none of us had any. None of the 3 of us from College A. So we had to tell them, and they had to tell us where to sit and what to do, because it's a different procedure in College B slightly. But we got ready to take the exam. Now, what I did like, College B had a digital clock that you can see from far back. That was nice. Very lucky for the students there. Alright, and I was able to keep a decent check on the time because of it. And also, because our exam was 2 hours and a half, the biology one was only 45 minutes, so that was also sort of helpful as well, to know roughly how I'm spending my time. But the first bit, the grammar, was perfectly fine. I'm very confident on that. The second bit was one of the poems, which I was initially hoping to not be on the exam, and I was revising on the day at 9 o'clock. I was revising all the wrong poems, because we have to learn 4, knowing that only one of them will be on the exam. But I wasn't revising that one poem as much. But looking back, I'm glad I'm glad that poem came up. That poem was Newyddion. So if you want to see what I had to analyse in the exam, feel free to check it out. That exam, or that section of the exam, is basically English literature yng Nghymraeg. But yeah, what I'd been revising for that morning had been completely useless, because I'd been revising all the other poems, like Toich, which is to deceit, that's the name of the poem, and Liverpool. But yes, that is all my exams over with now. I have officially finished my first year of college. Now it's just a case of any extra stuff I do, not exams and all, but like things I do in college, like going bowling and interviews and all that jazz. The day after that, so today, it wasn't today actually. Yesterday then we went to watch a play, watched The Vicar of Dibley. That was very, very good. On the first night of the performance, they needed someone to play the Dalek in the performance. I was that Dalek. I can show that now because they finished their tour. I was a Dalek in the very first production of it, and then I watched this. I think it's their third to last. It was very good. It was a very, very good production. I very much enjoyed that. Before I went to watch it though, I went to CX and I went and bought myself 4 Doctor Who stories. There's 2 in each of them. I shouldn't have done that. But yeah, so that concludes all my exams. All my college stresses are now over with until, well, apart from the stresses of not knowing how I've done in the exam. I find that out on the 18th. But until then, guys, that's everything I wanted to cover at this point. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe. Have a good day. Don't forget to drink hot chocolate. Stay safe. And from me, it's goodbye for now.